Darling.
Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you will find love, 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 love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and it's our God-forsaken right to be loved, love, 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 love. So I won't hesitate no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Do you want to come on? Scooch on over closer, dear, and I will nibble your ear. Soon they I've been spending way too long checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer, but my breath fogged up the glass, and so I drew a new face and I laughed. I guess what I'll be saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we aim to do. Our name is take no more, no more. It can't ride away. Open up your mind and see how. Open up your plans and look into your heart and you'll find that the sky is yours. So please don't, please don't, please don't. What's up there? This is all, babe. I'm yours. Let's go back to the start.
What do we want? Climate justice! When we want it? Now! Act! Now! Act! Now! Act! Now!
But the tip, put it under the sheet, because when it's raining, you can soak it. Welcome. It's Belgium. Okay. I'm the president of Lithuania. Shout. We're all here. We're all here. Like nearly all countries.
Nein, sag nur mal rein. Weil don't say that, man. Son carton est tellement joli que...
Classique, hein. On n'arrête pas de le dire. You're going?
Power to the people. Because the people got the power. Because the people got the power. Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Getting stronger by the hour. Getting stronger by the hour. Power, power, people, people, power, power, people, people, power to the people, power to the people. Because the people got the power. Because the people got the power. Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Getting stronger by the hour. Getting stronger by the hour. Power, power, people, people, power, power, people, people, power to the people, power to the people. Because the people got the power. Because the people got the power. Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Getting stronger by the hour. Getting stronger by the hour. Power, power, people, people, power, power, people, people. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. Act. Now. Act. Now. Act. 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 Now. Now. Now.
So Greta just needs her speech is going to come now. I think we send people to come with me to pick her up, and then she'll be arriving here in like 5 minutes. I doesn't need to be some people.
So just stand up if you want to go get Greta. Just 10 people.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? J'ai entendu ce qu'il a dit.
They're picking up Greta now and bringing her here.
Okay.
Any more?
Merci beaucoup.
I guess we know this all in all.
What is
Men det er ikke sånn som i Norge.
Just like that one.
It with such coordination to make sure that the place that she got out of was unknown.
Yeah.
And still there was so much press that they filled down the entire plaza. And so it didn't really matter. This one is wet already, so I'm not
On va pas rentrer, vous inquiétez pas. C'est possible de pas bloquer l'accès parce qu'il y a des gens dedans.
Okay, it's not that much. We can push the other one.
You are so beautiful with your wet hair. Like that.
Adelaide, I think we're not allowed to sing in here, are we?
I know. No, we can't stay here
Yeah.
long, but otherwise we would be here.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
It would be nice, huh?
Well,
It's protected.
In Romania, we're a bit pushy with the authorities, so
I feel you.
like we're sitting, organizing sit-ins in front of the city halls, and we're asking everybody that gets out of the city hall, why doesn't the mayor loves us? And it's like, and we're like, why doesn't she love us? And we're doing that to policemen and everyone that passes, and it's really nice. And then we just get kicked out of there. But hey, the good part is that I'm 15 and no policeman can touch me without the presence of my parents.
They can,
Wait, you have a law for that? Because we can get into jail
But here, no.
Yeah,
Here you can be minor and be arrested. But after that, they called your parents and...
Yeah, I just can't get a felony charge until I'm 16.
5 years of jail for
Well, of course, if I kill someone after the age of 14, yes. Yes.
That's different. Yeah.
But before, I could go to jail, but before it's only the educative forms that, like, correctional institutions and things like that.
I recognize one policeman.
Our feet are gone.
The man with the...
I agree. So I'm not the only one.
But they're cool.
Your hoodie over.
Today they're cool. It's not Extinction Rebellion.
Or why didn't you put it for
So it's cool.
Well, you come from Italy, so...
That's something.
Yeah, in the winter you have plenty.
And we have Slovenia, so that's represent.
At the same time it's the winter, but it's not so cold. Because maybe 10 years ago it was snowing at the street.
Yeah, in Turin as well, we used to get 10 centimeters of snow in the city. Now it never snowed. Like in the last 3 years, it never snowed. Where I live, which is 45 minutes outside of Turin, we used to get up to 1 meter of snow. Like 10 to 11 years ago, when I was really little, we have pictures of that. And this year, it didn't snow once.
We need to fight, we need to fight. Did you say to the media that they cannot make interviews? They already know that they cannot make interviews.
They created a support to give it news, I think.
Yeah, but for that, but they know it.
But still,
Because it's maybe better to say to them.
Par contre, on va demander si c'est possible puisque la presse se mette pas trop proche.
Ouais, ok.
Respectez s'il vous plaît la présence exacte. Parce que si on lui fait trop peur, après elle va pas rester à notre action et alors ce serait vraiment dommage.
Très cool. D'accord.
Et on va là-bas avec elle, mais juste pour être sûr qu'elle se sente bien, quoi. Pas trop précis.
Yeah, I understand French, but I cannot speak it. It's impossible for me to... Like, I understand more of French.
That's a hard language. That's a really hard language.
Points nor additional warming hidden by air pollution, and since it is global, it does not include or say anything about the aspects of equity which is necessary if we are to make the Paris Agreement work on a global scale. And this budget is also relying on that in the future we will have at scale these negative emissions technologies, and that we will be able to suck hundreds of billions of tons of CO2 out of the atmosphere. And the content of this budget never seems to get any attention whatsoever. This European climate law is not based on this budget. It is based on a budget which gives us an approximate 50% chance of limiting the global average temperature rise to below 1.5 degrees Celsius. And of course that budget does not include the risks of tipping points and feedback loops, which I mentioned earlier. And of course it does not mention the global aspect of equity. And of course we need to take this into account, and we cannot, and since these things are not included, then of course that gives us much less than a 50% chance of staying within that target. And we need to take this into account, and we also need to include the annual emissions reductions which are needed right now. We cannot just have goals for 2030 or 2050. We also need them, above all, need them for 2020, because right now, if high emissions continue like today's business as usual, then that remaining budget will be gone. I mean, before we will even have the chance to deliver on those targets. So, and again, this is just the IPCC. I'm not, and this is just science. I shouldn't be here to tell you this. This should be something that we take for granted that we would listen to. And I really expect you to do that. And because we cannot have a climate law, of course, without including these things, because, I mean, that would, quite frankly, risk breaking up the whole Paris Agreement. And, of course, we need to go for a safest possible pathway to reach these targets. Thank you.
Thank you, Greta. The Council has heard your message, and I personally thank you for everything you are doing. Dear colleagues, in light of today's heavy agenda, the Presidency invites ministers to refrain from taking the floor on this item and proposes to include any possible remarks concerning Ms. Thunberg's message in the interventions on Green Deal. But if someone would like very much to say a couple of words, please keep it just 1 minute. Thank you. Thank you. The Council has taken note of the address to the Council by Ms. Thunberg.
Protocol. Okay.
It's a protocol. Can you? Huh? So
you introduce all the elements in there.
So we'll do with this.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. You want to come join us at the action? A memorize is a good idea. Oh my God. You can put it up if you want.
Look.
Okay? Yeah. Wow. We're gonna, this is all the use from Paris there and the others are in there. And we're gonna take it like this. Let's go.
Everybody's around.
Amazing. We're trying.
Like that you can protect
Just
her.
ask if you need more.
Yeah, we're trying one big hug. And then one big hug. Yeah, we're doing one big human chain.
Let's go that way.
Yeah, go on.
Keep you here.
Anyone wants to get on that?
Thank you.
I love the umbrella. I love the umbrella.
Yeah, the umbrella.
Well, no, I just said the numbers before we got to the upside budgets. And two of them, but you were sitting outside. Now you told that.
Maybe.
And do you feel the room like?
We will want to go.
I'm sorry.
I belong to you. I also have a camera, but I'm belonging to you.
Do you think like the vice president of the commission? We talked to him yesterday and he was not very
receptive. So technology will save everything. That's quite sad, actually.
Thank you.
Can you
Guys, stay up front.
please can you move a bit?
Don't fall,
And
okay?
let's move. The others are waiting and it's
I
ringing.
don't want to give any information.
Like if everybody just opens, so we will work on
You will be able to take focus at the strike. At the protest.
We're there with all the people, so...
Should be seen though.
I thought that family was crazy.
Thank you.
This is a whole new level.
Yes, and I mean this climate law is of course not based on that budget. It's based on like cherry-picked numbers from the 50% budget.
Yeah.
And they just completely exclude the equity and the annual emissions reductions.
I don't know if
And also today's and then already today.
But welcome in Belgium. You have the weather of Belgium. Really?
Someone can go here. You don't have proper clothes. You can.
Oh my god, that's good.
Ça va comme ça? Ça va? Mes amis, c'est plaisir d'avoir toute la famille.
Good. And you?
Warning for battery remaining. One hot dates, not hot planet.
Are you the only one?
Like compared to other happenings, this is quite okay, but like, yeah.
C'est pas de
Still.
It would actually listen to what we have to say about it.
Et moi je vais prendre.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I can still open.
I'm trying not to.
Let's just get to the center and I'm gonna tie it there. We're almost there.
Almost made
We're slow when we're getting there.
We're slow when we're getting
Op dat pleintje.
And I'm happy that the press is really
that's just so long too.
And then,
Like,
I don't know why I'm expecting a civil war in Italy anytime soon.
Like everything's fine, but you're just pushing it so much.
yeah, it's just, I mean, not that they shouldn't, but it's like they should.
That's hot. Guys are coming.
Ah, tu t'appelles aussi François? Je sais, ouais, mais parce que passe devant la commission, c'est ça l'image. Hein.
Là, je peux l'avoir maintenant, vas-y.
Ouais,
Voilà, c'est comme ça.
No, not right. Oh, we still have press.
Hi guys.
Is the press allowed?
No. So, on aimerait bien if the press could step away behind the line, that would be really good. We would like to do the action only with the youth, without the press. So if we could ask the press to be respectful of our action and step back. Step back. Step back. Step back. If you're on press, sorry, Thank you for respecting our action. That's
I give it 10 minutes.
Outside the red line.
Okay, guys, now.
Step back, please. Step back. Behind the room.
Oh, hurry up. Maybe you should just all go.
Like the question is just like I can go, he's just over there. But the question is what do you want to do right now? If you're just standing here, then that will be really messy. So either you guys will sit here in front of the wall for like 5 minutes, and then we discuss what you want to do, and then we check out. Like I mean,
that's feasible. Maybe we should some people should already check out what the possibilities are under the roof and see if we can move, because I guess we'll move.
Okay, but can someone shout if you're on close?
I think that would be the best, so just...
No, yeah, I think so.
But like, let me talk if you're heard it.
And you get the shots, and you get the...
Okay, but can someone shout?
Guys! A plan, so if you guys could just like not sit down, but like go low.
So that we see the board.
We see the board and we see the council, we take our pictures and then we...
But let's all sit in front of the board.
Yeah, so if we can move a little bit.
In front of the board, everybody.
Okay, we should have a look at it. Yes.
Squat! Squat! Just in squat!
Guys!
Umbrellas!
Guys, look your umbrella. That's way better. First 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, just 5 minutes, guys. Like this is
what do we want?
Climate justice!
What do we want then?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
What do we want then?
Now!
What do we... What?
I said yesterday.
Yeah, let's do yesterday. That's better.
Yeah, that's
Power to the people! Power to the people! Cause the people got the power! Cause the people got the power! Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Getting stronger by the hour! Getting stronger by the hour! Power! Power! People! People! Power! Power! People! People! Power to the people! Power to the people! Cause the people got the power! Cause the people got the power! Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Getting stronger by the hour! Getting stronger by the hour! Power! Power! People! People! Power! Power! People! People!
Non, moi je reste ici.
It's not raining anymore. We can give the umbrella.
What do we want? justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? That's right.
Allez, plus chaud!
Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud!
Okay, now we can go.
Now we need to build a better future and try to go through this war.
Okay, you're very wet. Yeah.
Assisting the message, let's make a circle and let's go in the circle.
Can we all stand in a circle, please?
We need to wake
Hey, Jerry!
Guys, let's get in a big circle!
Big circle out, you can't like...
Come on, guys, let's hug. Let's hug. Let's hug.
Dans ce cas-là, avant, c'est pas par Yeah, we are
Yes, but I mean, you still want to take the mic?
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe they can...
You are so beautiful.
Are we just going to stand in the circle?
No,
Okay, I can't really make it. Ja, ik heb gewoon een halve meter van de hier achteruit gezet. Oh, sorry.
We can't move any further.
Yeah, it was here before. I did my best.
Alors, nous sommes plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, nous sommes plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds, plus chauds que le climat, on est plus chauds.
How long will it take?
An hour and a half, I think. At least 11 minutes.
Contre l'humanité. Et 1, et 2, et 3 degrés. C'est un crime contre l'humanité.
Et 1,
Et 2, et 3 degrés.
c'est un crime
Contre l'humanité. Et 1, et 2, et 3 degrés. C'est un crime contre l'humanité.
et 2, et 3 degrés. C'est un crime contre l'humanité.
freezing. It's freezing, but we're here for a reason.
Do you know who had it? Yeah, do you know who had the bug?
Adé, c'est la fille aux cheveux noirs, mais c'est pas la fille aux cheveux noirs. Là-bas, ouais.
I'm sending from
Sorry.
It's going to be hard for them, though.
Allez.
You really have to see, guys.
The youth united will never be defeated. The youth. Super. Thanks, guys.
We're going to do Swedish one.
Tomma ord och mera prat räddar inte vårt klimat. Tomma ord och mera prat räddar inte vårt klimat. Tomma ord och mera prat räddar inte vårt klimat. Tomma ord och mera prat räddar inte vårt klimat. Tomma ord och mera prat räddar inte vårt klimat. Tomma ord och mera prat räddar inte vårt klimat.
Italian. Do you want to do an Italian show? Yeah, Italian, go. I'll sing. And then we can do it. Insieme siamo partiti, insieme torneremo, il pianeta è nostro e non
Okay, go.
Insieme siamo partiti, insieme torneremo. Il pianeta è nostro e lo difenderemo. Insieme siamo partiti, insieme torneremo. Il pianeta è nostro e lo difenderemo.
Which means we are all together, we started all together, the planet is ours and we will defend it.
Woo! I don't think it's gonna stay.
Yes.
We need to open our eyes and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future.
That was trade minister is coming out again.
We're on a planet that has a problem.
So we're getting over doing this now, now, now. We need to build a better future. And we need to start right now.
Make it cleaner.
Make it cleaner.
Make it cleaner.
Make it cleaner. Make it less. Make it fast and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future. And we need to start right now.
All the best. No point in waiting or hesitating.
Can I just ask you a question quickly? I think it would be really cool if you guys could ask Greta whether she wants to write something on the wall. and basically trying, like, the idea would be something like maybe, you know, the three of you, like the idea of having a picture like that with the European building in the back.
You're doing things for pictures.
No, I know, but the idea is just, it doesn't necessarily need to be for the picture, but you know, like,
Bring her
a pen. Well, bring her a black pen, though.
Hey guys, can you help us? So we are from Hungary.
Has a power bank?
We have like a kind of saying that if you can help us, so all you have to say is miénk. Can you say it miénk? Miénk. It means ours. So ki a jövő? Miénk. Ki a föld? Miénk. Ki a víz? Miénk. Ki a levegő? Miénk. Ki a jövő? Miénk. Ki a hatalom? Miénk. Thank you.
No idea. I don't know.
In the way.
Everything's okay. You can stand right before me.
Okay. Do you remember me from breakfast?
Yes.
From okay, but
The kids are coming. The kids are coming. The kids are running. The kids are
so we just won.
for you.
By myself.
Ça rien, on n'arrive pas à voir.
We're not part of the UK, we're part of our
But this is our style.
But you said that the press is respecting it, so it's true.
Yes, that's the one.
The press is... C'était le bon moment.
What are you doing?
Just like everyone. We are waiting for the...
Do you remember my face?
Guys, come on.
Form the line.
Form the line.
Lead by example.
Let's go to the wall. Let's go to the wall.
Yeah, of course.
Let's make the line.
Let's make two lines.
Isabelle, family picture.
Mais parce que si on n'est pas là, nous avancer. De toute façon, on va bouger, on va faire comme ça.
What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? Now! Act! Now! Act! Now!
Haben wir es gelernt?
Let's just make the line.
Let's try to make a line.
This is not because I've seen kids back.
Small people.
Are you guys gonna stay there? Okay.
Get up on your back.
Let's have a first line sitting down like that.
That's an idea.
No, it's like sitting down.
No, I'm with them.
Okay, but so you're not professional.
I have permission with them.
Ok, ça va leur demander de tous nous regarder. Une fois qu'ils le font.
Please look at this man!
Hello! Yeah! That's a family portrait.
What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? Now! On est plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat! Plus chaud! Plus chaud! Plus chaud que le climat!
Power to the people.
Power to the people!
'Cause the people got the power.
'Cause the people got the power!
Tell me, can you feel it?
Tell me, can you feel it?
Getting stronger by the hour.
Getting stronger by the hour!
Power!
Power!
People!
People!
Power!
Power!
of me.
Okay, can you have every country maybe singing their own thing? Sing first, we're from here, and then you sing what you usually sing at each time. So we can show how many, that we come from everywhere.
Do you want to do a Polish one?
Polish! Polish!
Okay. So a song or like...
So we're from Poland, and then you
Okay. So we're from Poland, and it's about reducing emisje zredukujcie.
Emisje zredukujcie. Emisje zredukujcie. Emisje zredukujcie. Emisje zredukujcie. Emisje zredukujcie. Emisje zredukujcie. Emisje zredukujcie.
Where are you?
So I'm from Belgium.
Hey, Nicolas! We're thinking about it.
Yeah, just another country.
Another country wants to sing his usual song.
Let's listen to a Romanian one.
Yes, come on, Romania!
Vremea curat, mai poluat. Vremea curat, transpirat. Okay, so this one is like super short.
We're from Romania, by the way.
So it goes like vrem aer curat. Nu plămân poluat. Vrem aer curat. Nu plămân poluat. Vrem aer curat.
Nu plămân poluat. Vrem aer poluat? No.
We don't want that.
Okay, Ireland next, so it goes...
Where are you from? Ireland!
How does it go? Afro Anish. What? What do you mean? This is my language out here. Afro Anish.
Afro Anish.
Afro Anish.
Afro Anish. Afro Anish.
Keep the lights.
Afro Anish. 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 Afro Anish.
Guys, let's try to keep the lights. What other country do we have here?
We have Croatia. In Croatia we have a short one, it's Vrijeme je sad.
Okay.
Vrijeme je sad. 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 Italy. Italy.
Ok. Insieme siamo partiti.
Insieme siamo partiti.
Insieme torneremo.
Insieme torneremo.
Il pianeta è nostro.
Il pianeta è nostro.
E lo difenderemo.
E lo difenderemo.
Insieme siamo partiti.
Insieme siamo partiti.
Insieme torneremo.
Insieme torneremo.
Il pianeta è nostro.
Il pianeta è nostro.
E lo difenderemo.
E lo difenderemo.
No, all together very fast.
Let's try.
Ok. Insieme siamo partiti. Insieme torneremo. Il pianeta è nostro. E lo difenderemo. Insieme siamo partiti. Insieme torneremo.
Il pianeta è nostro. E lo difenderemo.
Wow, okay. Who else?
Who else? Another country.
Austria.
We have friends
So we say up with climate protection, and you go up because you're all freezing by now. So it's down with the heat, up with the climate protection, and it's a germ. So it's
Open mit dem Klimaschutz, unter
mit der Hitze.
Okay.
Unter mit der Hitze, hoch mit dem Klimaschutz. Okay, we gotta do it slow, and then we go fast.
Unter mit dem Klimaschutz. Runter mit der Hitze, hoch 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 mit dem Klimaschutz. Okay, that was points for a week. Woo!
Next one.
Yeah, I think Sweden, the one with ours.
Sweden.
The neighbor.
Netherlands.
Czech Republic, there.
Czech Republic, go for it.
Uri patrzy pod zem.
Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem. Uri patrzy pod zem.
Thank you, Czech Republic.
Lungs under the ground. Very slow.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, Lithuania.
Lithuania!
You need to ask her.
Lithuania, what do you think there?
But I don't know. But Bram or Ton, do we have Flemish chants? Yes.
The planet
Is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. De planeet is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. De planeet is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. De planeet is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. De planeet is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. De planeet is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. De planeet is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. De planeet is de heet, de regering doet geen reet. The planet is the head.
Should we translate?
Yes, what does it mean?
Yeah, of course, I can translate.
We're saying the planet is too hot and the government is doing shit. And it's true, they're doing shit.
Yes!
That's done.
Now we can do Swedish one.
Sorry?
Yes, the Swedish one.
Ocean Minister is coming. I'm working for the Ocean Press.
Another one.
I don't know. You need to speak with them, not with me.
Leo.
There is the Swedish government.
No, but we can work if you
Sorry, what's the question?
The Swedish government minister is coming.
We've asked for all the ministers to come out. We're waiting for them to come.
But he's gonna come.
Some have said they will come.
So they said that
Austrian.
the Austrian minister.
The Austrian minister said they
But normally the Swedish one is here in 5 minutes.
Guys, let's do the Swedish one now.
Swedish one?
Yes.
Tell us, Greta.
So I say, vad ska vi göra? And you say, rädda klimatet.
Rädda
klimatet.
Rädda klimatet.
And then I say, när. And you say, nu. När. Nu. It means, what are we gonna do? Save the climate. When? Now.
Okay.
That's good, that's good.
Okay. Vad ska vi göra?
Rädda klimatet.
När?
Nu.
När?
Nu.
När?
Nu.
Vad ska vi göra?
Rädda klimatet.
Vad ska vi göra?
Rädda klimatet.
När?
Nu.
När?
Nu.
We have Sweden here.
Anything else? Another country?
What about France?
Yeah!
France is here.
French speakers.
Yeah, I can go with you. Tell me. Which one do you want to do?
Plus chaud, un petit plus chaud.
Ok, un petit plus chaud.
Allez.
Allez,
avec toi.
On est plus chaud.
Plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud.
Plus chaud,
Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat, on est plus chaud. Plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud, plus chaud que le climat.
Thank you. You know, French people love Evian.
That feeling is that you're more hot than the climate.
I will have to understand it for sure.
That's me. That's true.
Maybe Elijah from England. Tell us, what did he sing?
They're all in English anyway.
You Yeah, what else do you want to sing? Go for it, Elijah.
Hey, looks like we know more English songs than him.
Yeah.
Wait, we are unstoppable. Do that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Ah, yes, that's one of the
Launch it.
Does everyone know that one?
I think.
Okay.
What do you want?
We are unstoppable, another world is possible. 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 We are unstoppable.
Who else is there? Do you want Latvian?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do the what do we want? Climate justice, when do we want it now? But in Latvian. So you just have to remember the answers. So I'm gonna say, ko mēs gribam, and then you say, klimata rīcību. Klimata rīcību. Yes. And then I'm gonna ask, when do we want it? And you're gonna say now, which is tagad. 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 Okay.
Yeah, wait, say the first one again.
Klimata rīcību.
Klimata rīcību.
And then tagad.
Tagad.
Okay, so let's try it. Ko mēs gribam?
Klimata rīcību.
Kad mēs to gribam?
Tagad.
Ko mēs gribam?
Klimata rīcību.
Kad mēs to gribam?
Tagad.
Ko mēs gribam?
Klimata rīcību.
Kad mēs to gribam?
Tagad.
Let's try to make this circle a bit bigger. So we want to really make a circle here, like a half circle, and make it bigger. Like this.
Yeah, move a bit.
Like that.
Go a bit to the right.
Over there.
Like this way? Yeah, so you can.
I don't have to inside. Just keep one over.
Sorry, can we make it like a circle?
Is it better now? Is it better now?
Okay.
C'est vrai ça? Parce que là il commence à me casser les pieds. Mais c'est très sympa, mais je veux dire, ça ne sert à rien ce qu'ils font. C'est pire que le pape, je comprends pas. Et ça c'est un truc pas normal.
C'est la nouvelle génération.
This side says climate and that side says justice. Okay? Climate justice! Climate justice! Climate justice! Climate
people. Power to the people. The people got the power. Does the people got the power? Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it?
Getting stronger by the hour.
Getting stronger by the hour.
Power!
Power!
People!
People!
Power!
Power!
People!
People!
Okay, I'm fine. It's good. We're gonna win. It's not finero. Okay, but let's go.
When I say climate, you say justice. Climate!
Justice!
Climate! Justice! When I say people, you say power. People!
Power!
People!
Power!
When I say climate, you say justice. Climate!
Justice! Climate! Justice!
You're trying to say something?
Okay, what's They're talking about 1 minute of how we can.
You can speak. Right now.
Yeah, like pictures of
By the way, there is just the minister from Australia who is there talking to Australians. Okay.
Eddie, everybody's afraid of the
It's coming to protect you from
ist der Begriff der Klimagerechtigkeit gerade ein Thema, werden 65% bis 2030 oder 1990 schon angesprochen.
Extinction! Rebellion! Extinction! Rebellion! Extinction! Rebellion!
Do you know the Spanish version of your song? The Spanish version. Oh, how is it Spanish?
Oh, that can be cool. Another song from Extinction in another language. Why not?
Extinction Rebellion. In your back.
Maar we hadden gisteren gedacht, het zou dan mooi zijn om die zo gemaakt dat ik een Twitter. Ja, bedankt.
I love you.
We need higher ambitions. 30, we cannot stay at even 55. It's too low. We know it. So we want to tell you this is why we are here today. We need high ambitions and we need concrete actions. Thank you for coming to listen to us.
Thank you for telling us that, because that's true. That's what we need. We really need a higher target, and we need to go faster with the action as well.
And we need also really to have in every country lots of people on the street in order to push us, because few of us already pushing a lot. We have been 12 ministers writing for higher ambition, also for having a quick discussion about the 2030 target, because if we do not lead by example, and if we do not have a higher, and they say it will be terribly for the discussions in this year, and this year is crucial, and we know that, so we try to push. So, but I really would like to thank you for your actions, because you remind us and you recall on us to follow science, and this is the very important thing, not to hide behind some technicalities, but really to follow science. So, so thank you for what you do.
How are the negotiations in the council right now? Are there people pushing for a higher 2030 target, or?
There is some countries which are pushing, but unfortunately there are some countries which are going to another direction, and that's why it's so important that we have a pressure from outside. And also we had the President was there, and she had, she's now here, and she really told us this important message that it's just that we need to base our policy on the science, and I mean that's what we should do. That's not anything new thing. That's like a normal thing.
But
now we are
when you say you're pushing, do you mean you're pushing the 40% to go up to 50 or 55%, or to push for 65%, which is what we need if we want to have a chance to stay under 1.5 degrees?
Are you going to push for the 65%?
We need to better, at least 55, that's the minimum. But as Greta said, that's not enough. With that, the chances are still too low to get this money.
The chances are that we will live in a constant fever for the rest of our lives.
So 55% is not a minimum. 55% is not something. It's not something that can be. It should be 65%, and we know that the science says it. We've talked about this before. So, like, if the countries that are pushing and that are eager, they should be pushing even more, and they should be reaching the limit, which is at least 65%. The minimum is 65%, not 55%. 55% does not mean 1.5 degrees. So what are you going to do about that?
Thank you. We just want you to, we need ministers of the environment that are going to announce that they will push for 65%.
It needs to be official.
To be a 65%.
To have it. We need to have it. It's not just guessing, because it's about our future. So we cannot just guess, well, maybe 55, maybe higher, maybe lower, probably lower. It needs to be official.
So what are you going to do about it? Because I see you nodding and agreeing with us, but then inside in the discussion you say, okay, 55%, we can cope with that. But here outside with us, you're nodding that, yes, you agree with that we need 65%. If you go back in there, if the discussion is still going on, are you going to say something about that or no?
So I agree with my colleague that we will say that we would need at minimum, so at least the 55%, which is already far more than we are now. And I think if you look at the discussion we had over the last year, we made, due to the civil society, and thanks to your going out on the street, we
we raised up already ambitions. So for years now, I'm an environment minister. I negotiated Paris, and I see what the dynamics are. So if we now are able to push for at least 55, this will push the discussion further. So that's at least, and I think the most important thing is now also really to not only speak about climate neutrality at latest in 2050, where we already agreed on, but to push that Europe should lead by example, and that we should speak really now, before summer, about the 2030 target, because at the moment that's really too late, and that's not a good sign if in the run-up of the COP26, and it's really a crucial moment that we have now, so we're going to push. But you know, it's also agreed positions in our governments, but we're going to push. And as I've seen the last years, we see that this is a big push for us if you stay impatient with us, if you stay here on the streets and push us to go further. This gives us opportunity to discuss and to then take the next steps.
I promise you we will.
Yeah. And I know we can rely on that.
Yes.
So at least.
But don't rely on us though, because we're not going to solve it.
No, we rely on you being active, but it's our task to be active in there and push the political decisions. That's clear.
We really need this climate law to be ready to be at COP26. We need Europe to show that they are far ahead, and so the rest of the world can follow. So
we've been saying that in all the meetings we had yesterday, today in the morning, today in the council, that we have a historic time frame now, and we need to rebuild trust also in the Paris process, and that's our responsibility to go ahead to show that we can lead and to also rebuild the trust in the process. So that's we've said, all of us have said that in the different settings. So I think that you can rely on that we'll do that.
Talking about.
Thank you very much for
thank you for coming out.
Thank you for showing up.
Because that's really nice.
It means a lot.
Some ministers from certain countries, Ireland, who couldn't be here, so but we won't go there.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks
for listening. Thank you for the discussion.
You're welcome.
And we'll follow you guys. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Danke schön.
Okay, go back to Greta.
She's doing some interviews.
With Greta?
Ja, nächstes Jahr in Deutschland.
It's relying on future generations. Sucking hundreds of billions of tons of CO2 out of the atmosphere with technologies that do not exist at scale and may never will. And then of course that budget, the budget with the highest probability of staying below 1 Celsius whatever temperature rise is 67% probability approximately. And of course we must go for the safest possible option, the option that gives us the best possible chance to safeguard
we go back to
future living conditions for humanity, future generations. And of course it's a whole different point as well. Since it's net zero, it also includes the possibility of sequestering carbon to create a balance between greenhouse gases we emit and that we absorb. Easily explained. And that of course then also it's many different problems within how they're going to report about it, and that it's not actually something they have to follow. They can only give recommendations. I mean, if you read the climate, if you read it, then I mean it's lots of questions pop into your head.
Maybe last question: where do you keep getting the energy to go on fighting?
Just the knowledge that I have to.
You keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah. You already do this a year and a half. Yeah, you're going to keep doing this till when?
Well, that's not up to me. It's we have said we're going to do this until we are in line with the Paris Agreement, until we are able to set halfway to 45 degrees Celsius, average temperature rise, and that is not up to me when that is going to happen. That is up to the people in power and the media, politicians. So that's not up to us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tycker du att ministerrådet har lyssnat på dig? Har de lyssnat på dig?
Det vet jag inte. De sa det i alla fall.
Var det viktigt för dig att vara här idag i Bryssel med alla ungdomar?
Ja, det var det. Och så det var väldigt viktigt tycker jag. Jag tycker det här är en väldigt stark aktion. Att vi står här tillsammans från över Europa och att vi visar att vi står enade.
Att det är viktigt för dem att du är här?
Det tror jag inte. Jag är bara som alla andra. Jag är inte viktigare än de andra som är här. Så det tror jag inte.
Okej, tack så mycket.
Ska vi avsluta? Eller fortsätta?
Like for an hour. Like when you give me, I try very hard.
Are you tyrant? Travel all around the world, or is still working fast?
Yes, I think we all are. I think we know what is at stake, and we know that if we don't do this, then no one else will, because the media won't take our role to tell these things. So then we have to continue.
And when you meet ministers, do you trust them?
Yeah, right now. Isabella Lövin har kommit så vi ska börja. Okay, now
sorry, the Swedish environmental ministers here.
You're ministers here.
Sorry?
Okay.
Hej, kul att ni är här. Hej. Hej Greta.
Hej. Tusen tack för att du kom, och det är fantastiskt att du får prata för ministerrådet. Jag kan inte påminna mig någon annan gång det har varit en extern gäst så som du fick komma. Så att det är så fantastiskt det genomslaget som ni har allihopa och den kraften som ungdomarna har. Och att du påminner om vetenskapen. Det är ni, jag vet. Men du var där idag och tack så jättemycket för det. Och också att ni påminner om vetenskapen, och det är också faktiskt Sveriges position att vi ska ha på EU-nivå netto nollutsläpp senast 2050 eller tidigare om vetenskapen säger så. Så det var också någonting jag underströk idag.
Ja, och vetenskapen kräver ju att vi har det mycket tidigare. Och Sverige följer inte heller Parisavtalet.
Vi satsar på hur gärna vi vill nå målen, och dessutom om vi ska inkludera rättviseaspekten i det också.
Så är det. Och det är ju, alltså den insatsen ni gör för demokratin skulle jag säga är så otroligt viktig. Därför att jag förstår att ni känner er frustrerade över hur långsamt det går i politiken. Men det handlar ju inte om att alla partier eller alla politiker är likadana, utan det handlar ju om att vi måste ha en majoritet för att gå fram snabbare. Och då är det ni gör, det budskap ni har, så otroligt viktigt, för det har gjort så stor skillnad. Och jag tror faktiskt inte att vi hade sett ett förslag till en europeisk klimatlag idag om det inte hade varit för er och Fridays for Future och den insats som du har gjort, Greta. Så att stort vi måste ju jobba med det så att vi kan steg för steg förbättra det. Och det står ju också i Parisavtalet att vi ska ha hela tiden periodiska översyner, och då måste man också kunna höja ambitionerna. Men jag tror ändå att utan en klimatlag då har vi ingenting att hålla oss i. Så vi måste ju ha någonting att börja med och sen steg för steg jobba vidare.
grader om vi inte ska sänka våra koldioxidutsläpp med 65% för 2030. Kommer Sverige
Vårt mål för 2030, vi har ju den nationella i klimatlagen är minus 63% till 2030. Det är ju väldigt tekniskt alltihopa. Så att det viktiga är ju att vi försöker ju ställa om nu hela ekonomin med sektor för sektor, att få med oss industrin, få med oss jordbruket. Idag kom jordbruket med sin färdplan mot fossilfrihet. Så jag tror att lika som det finns tipping points i de naturliga ekosystemen så finns ju någonstans det också i ekonomin och i politiken. Så jag hoppas att vi liksom kommer närma oss den tipping pointen och där vi ser nu redan att alla, inte alla men nästan alla sektorer i Sverige har ju ändå gått fram med sina färdplaner mot fossilfrihet och då kommer det ju verkligen att kunna komma till en sån här tröskeleffekt också vad det gäller politiken. Men då krävs det ju också att vi får liksom mer styrka i riksdagen och liksom få med oss fler partier på att vi måste göra det här och nu. Och det är ju tyvärr så att det är väldigt många som klamrar sig fast vid någonting som är längre fram i framtiden och hela den här debatten om att vi ska bygga mer kärnkraft är ett typexempel på det. För det är ju någonting som, även om man skulle tro på den lösningen så tar det ju årtionden. Alltså det är bara att titta på Finland, hur dyrt det är och hur lång tid det tar. Men så liksom, fortsätt pusha säger jag bara och vi gör allt vad vi kan från vår sida att stötta. Ja. Hur känns det då? Jag såg också från EU-parlamentet igår, jag såg på nätet och det var ju stående ovationer men det gäller ju att det också levereras på det. Hur kändes det? Tror du på dem?
Inte behandla krisen som en kris. Det gör vi inte idag.
Jag tycker ditt budskap idag var ändå liksom så to the point. Att det handlar faktiskt inte om vad vi tycker eller vad man ska liksom förhandla sig fram till eller kompromissa sig fram till. Det handlar liksom om en koldioxidbudget. Men jag tror att det blir liksom nästa steg för oss. Och få in det i politiken.
Med störst chans att vi når målen, inte 50% chansen utan då 67%.
Tack ska ni ha för att ni är här. Jag ska gå in och...
Ja, vi hade ju gärna...
Vill ni säga något mer? Eller?
Jag vet inte, har du något... Det är väl mest det. Det är väl inte vårt budskap som hyllas, det är väl snarare ni. Alltså vi vet att vi har ett budskap, det är väl snarare ni som måste skaffa ett som är trovärdigt och går lite på.
Ja, och lite mindre liksom att ni stöttar oss utan att ni faktiskt tar det forskarna säger och använder det istället för bara ni gör bra saker, tack. Utan istället liksom förvandla det till...
Ja, jag har ju egentligen två hattar på mig nu.
Ja.
Så en är i Sverige och då är liksom okej, det är det här vi får igenom i Sveriges riksdag. Vi har jättemycket motstånd. Och den andra hatten är liksom som språkare för Miljöpartiet. Vi vill ju gå fram snabbare och mer. Och, för oss, ni behöver inte övertyga oss. Men vi fick 4%.
Oh yeah, casually I can play. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Haven't you done that? My good friend Jack.
Making this circus.
Oh.
Coffee.
Were you there when that was awful? I walked over and there was about 3 journalists every one there. Everyone.
I'm very limited scope of what I can try.
But the problem was yes,
So you have I don't know how my contacts are. How do you manage to get Yeah, I know I like it, but most people like get involved in the party. Tell people in the would like to I wouldn't want to I just wouldn't want to have one, but I kind of have.
But do you know if our ministers are coming? Yes, we are. So everyone asked them to be like, but the half circle and then just shouting.
Guys! Can we do the half circle back again so that you have a bit of a nice setup? Everyone! Back there as well, can you come?
All your knees.
Which countries are coming exactly? Do you know which countries?
Do I know what?
Which countries?
I don't know. I didn't even know there were more, so
okay,
they just
so
come by
we just know that there's more coming, so we hope that you get to talk to them. So we want to give us more orders so you know we can tell you when your minister is here exactly so you can go talk to them and then they'll be away. That's fine. But just stand here so we can hear overview of what's happening and it's not just like one big chaos. Eddie? That's fine with everyone? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Woo!
And maybe prepare some questions like in your head that is useful actually.
We don't know which ministers, but if yours is coming, then prepare the questions like how's the wife?
C'est là. That's cool. I'm literally totally outside. I really. Oh yeah, you can? I did also, by the way. No, I put my house à chaque fois qu'on est en chemin. En fait, je suis désolé, je travaille avec un grand compte. Cette fois, j'ai été 35 pour être. D'un point de vue de. Donc, c'est chiant, c'est froid, il fait froid, mais on va y arriver. You're leaving or I'll be back? No, we can just
Reste encore?
Maintenant, de temps en temps, il y a un article avec lui.
Comment il s'appelle? Nicolas.
We are covering but many times but the thing is I'm gonna return the picture to myself. So you add me on Facebook. I like your page. No, it's not true. Like that you have all the Ok, et ben on continue alors. Ok, on fait comme ça marche. Pour être sûr. Merci, salut. We have to carry on until she's here.
I have organizers available for the interview.
Sorry?
I have the organizers.
Okay. We carry on with Greta first and after that excuse-moi.
I don't have it.
Yeah, we always feel like, again, what you say. Join. Our future and thank you so much. Can I correct?
Guys, should I take the picture?
It's a video, so you
Video or the...
video.
Before I...
Please go. Okay then, mother. I see how it is.
Yeah, it's not necessary for us to be seen, all of us. Yeah. Just...
I have one angle, so I have from here to the...
She's gonna record some
video. Yeah, it's a video.
Yeah. If you want to take a picture, it's okay. You can do it to my phone, so we'll have it. It's my phone. Ah, okay. It's my phone. It's okay.
Okay, so a video, okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
I joined the Fridays for Future in Romania and stand up against illegal logging. Yeah, I know, it's just many journalists. Can you please
move away?
Step aside a little, please. Please, more.
Like that you can make a voice.
Yeah.
So from here.
Okay?
Yeah. So, see you on the streets.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Can you also take a picture?
If you want. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I take a picture. So, yeah? You ready, Nico, va avec? You ready? Yeah? 1, 2, 3. What do you want?
Climate justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In Romania, we're writing history because never ever young people went on the streets for something, and we have a lot of underage people, like 13 years old and 14. Yeah, and they are organizing the protest in the cities, and it's just, and we started growing since September, and in September we were 6 cities, and now we are 23 cities, and it's just like going crazy. So, well, that's thanks to you, so good job, and continue. You too, and stay strong, and we know it's a lot of pressure and craziness, but we have to do this. We don't have another chance, another choice, and we never give up. That's our niche way. Yes.
I'm sorry, can Croatia just take a picture with me?
Good luck with the pictures.
Let's move away, yeah.
It's here.
You from Romania? I know. You from Romania? Oh, I can take a picture. I know you're not in front.
About the Green Deal, and the climate law. Can I ask you just one question about your reaction, about the publication of yesterday of van der Leyen, when with Timmermans? How do you appreciate the climate law they present yesterday? Can I ask you one or two questions about it?
One or two, or how many?
One, just your reaction, about the climate law. I tell you when I will be ready. Okay, when you want.
Yeah, I mean, of course
and of course we appreciate that they're trying to do something and that they're trying to raise their ambition. But I mean, with this plan, climate law, and I mean it's not nearly enough for staying in line with the Paris Agreement. So we really need to step up and take science into account.
What are you waiting for? Strong science? Which kind? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for this crisis to start being treated as a crisis, and that we really understand the urgency, and that we really come together despite our differences and work this out together, because it's going to be hard.
You have been disappointed when about the climate law that von der Leyen presented yesterday?
I'm sorry?
Have you been disappointed about climate law, and why?
Well, I knew already that those were the objectives they were going for. The net zero Europe 50 to 55% reduction by 2030 by 19 levels. But I mean, I read it, and I mean, it's so many things that are missing that needs to be in there, and of course, since these targets, these dates are based on an insufficient CO2 budget, which doesn't give us the highest probability to stay below the 1.5 degrees global average temperature rise, then I'm sorry, I forgot what I mean, we need to...
You can start again.
Okay, no, I think we've done... Yeah.
Okay.
What time is it, by the way?
Yeah, it's almost 12. I think now we would like to do one last screening with everyone to end the action, and then we put down the wall, and then is that okay? Because it's almost 12. I think. So, is it okay if we're gonna do a circle again? Maybe we try to ask everyone to go. Okay, fine.
Do you mind if I just get a quick photo?
Go ahead.
Great.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was talking to him.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So just a quick photo, if that's okay. Just for Freddy's picture.
I'm with him.
Oh.
I'm a friend of Hans in the parliament, and I'm from Ireland. And I just.
Will you? Can you get us?
Guys! Please! Hello everyone! One last thing!
Okay.
Hi! If you can have the attention of everyone! Guys!
It's okay. I'll take your photo.
Hey guys!
Would you mind
if we
taking
could have to finish the action, it's almost the end of the meeting of the ministers. We want them to hear us one last time before we finish this. So let's try to do the circle again. Scream really hard for about like 2-3 minutes, and then that's a good way to finish the action. And then we can put down the wall, and then we're gonna be done. But we want the ministers to listen to us one last time. Are you guys ready? Woo! Okay, let's try to do a circle like we did before. There's a circle in front of us. Let's try to have a circle with the youth mainly. That's in front of the friend. Yeah.
Extinction on the front. Engage in.
Come on. Even bigger. Let's make it even bigger. Guys, are all the youth here? Yes, baby.
You're in the middle of the circle. Like dark marker.
One last
Keep it in the ground. 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 Keep it in the ground.
What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? No! What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? No! Again, what do we want? Life and justice!
When do we want it?
No! What do we want? Life and justice! What do we want it? No! When I say climate, you say justice. Climate!
Justice!
Climate!
Justice!
When I say people, you say power. People!
Power!
People!
Power!
Power to the people!
Power to the people!
The people got the power!
The people got the power!
Tell me, can you feel it?
Tell me, can you feel it?
Getting stronger by the hour.
Getting stronger by the hour.
Power! People!
People!
Power!
Power!
People!
People! Power to the people!
Power to the people!
Cause the people
got the power!
Cause the people got the power!
Tell me, can you feel it?
Tell me, can you feel it?
Getting stronger by the hour.
Getting stronger by the hour.
Power! Power!
People!
People!
Power!
Power!
People!
Lägga saken!
Okay, I want to announce something to inform everyone how much active our politicians are. While we are here and our ministers of environment are in there and are trying to somehow save our future and their own, what they're doing is, for example, the Greek Minister of Environment, he is announcing that he wants new drilling of fossil fuels where? In Natura. So really, I don't know what the hell they are actually doing in there, but they're not doing their job. So really, we need to keep on fighting until the end. Like literally, they're not doing their job. They're doing so badly. It cannot be that even if we're on their front step door, that they're completely ignoring us. We all came all the way here to ask them to do a bit more, and what they're doing is shit. Excuse me for the expression. Woo! Let's take some justice!
When do we want it?
Now! What while all the other ministers are here, Romania's environment minister didn't even bother to fly out here and talk to us. You can join us.
Hey guys! Guys, come back!
Because they're cowards.
They're afraid to face us because they know that we are right and they know that we are going to manage eventually.
So we have one more minister coming in. The Spanish minister will be coming out.
Spanish.
So, yeah, the Spanish. I think it's really nice to have some words, but let's be making some noise. And then after that minister, we can put down that wall and go get warm because I think we're all very cold.
Can I? Okay, so guys, everyone raise your hand if you're under 18. So, you can't vote. And what that means that we can't say what's happened in our future. So every adult who can vote now has a saying in our future. But, I mean, they won't be alive when we are going to be their age. Maybe they are going to be alive. But the point is that right now they are saying that we are children, so we don't have power. But, I mean, look around, I guess we have power. So I'd like to say that we have to prove that children have words. We have power and we should prove that to the adults who can vote, because we can't vote yet. But when we can change the world. With our voice and with our words.
Whose future? Ours! Whose planet?
Ours!
Whose climate?
Ours!
Whose future?
Ours!
Whose planet?
Ours!
Whose right?
Ours!
We are. Hey, hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuel has got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuel has got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuel has got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuel has got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuel has got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuel has got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuel has got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuels have got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuels have got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuels have got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuels have got to go away! Hey! Oh, oh! Fossil fuels have got to go away! Hey! Keep it in the ground! Keep it in the ground! Let's keep it in the ground! Keep it in the ground! Let's keep it in the ground! Keep it in the ground! Let's keep it in the ground! Keep it in the ground! Let's keep it in the ground! Keep it in the ground! Keep it in the ground!
We want our future back! Cool!
Okay. Guys, I want to say something about Ireland. In Ireland, we have a minister who is pushing through a fossil fuel project. A terminal for
LNG.
An LNG terminal for liquefied natural gas. He is doing this despite the fact that nearly everyone in the country opposes this.
Absolute disgrace.
In fact, what they are doing to push this through is that they are putting through a law that will make it impossible for people to protest against new construction such as this one. What do we think about this? Is this what democracy looks like? No! Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
What does democracy look like?
This is what democracy looks like.
Do we want more fossil fuel projects?
No!
We want more dirty coal, more dirty gas, more oil?
No!
Thank you. I think I have a message too.
Me, I would have got it there.
No, it's okay. I usually talk a lot, but now I'm going to be really short. As Adelaide said, they're about to come out, and we have to make our voices heard. Because who are we?
Fridays for Future!
Who are we?
Fridays for Future!
And what do we want?
Justice!
And when do we want it?
Now!
When?
Now!
Then let's show them that we have a voice and that we represent this future. How democracy looks like. How democracy looks like.
Coming.
Oh,
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Let's, Spanish minister is here now. Let's try to still use the circle if possible and not to run back.
Attends, tu connais Adelaide, tu veux qu'on te prépare?
Okay. Maybe with some activists we show that
Margarita Rivera, qui est la ministre espagnole.
This is our message to you today. We wanted to be out here during your meeting to make sure you heard the voices of the youth. And Greta came to give our message.
The message, which was very important. Yes. And I think that it was very good because it framed very well the discussion that many of you have, which is how we engage in a real transformation, thinking on how we build prosperity and inclusiveness and so on.
Yes, very good. And we really need the higher targets. This is where we need to push you as minister to ask for 65%.
65%.
This is what we need. 55 is even too low. We need 65, and we are all here to demand for 65 at least. And this is not our word; it's the IPCC word. So we are just bringing science up here.
So we are ready to. I think we are ready to go for 55. And I think that we need to build and accelerate the pathways to get the 65, 70, 76, which I don't know if it could be feasible in 10 years, but I think that we need to accelerate.
Yes, we need to accelerate. We need to make sure that countries come forward saying, this is what we need. 65% is what we need, and at least we will have this. But it's the minimum that we need. This is what science is saying, and we need to make sure you listen to science. That's why we are here, shouting the words and making sure the words of science are being heard.
Okay, and then I guess that it is also very important that this message is being understood by people dealing with transport and mobility, with people dealing with justice, as you say, so solidarity and participation and engagement in a fruitful debate. And I think that this is part of what we are doing.
Yes, and if I may, I'm from Spain myself. Nice meeting you too. I'm a bit older than Fridays for Future, but I'm here accompanying them today. Today's Thursday. But I think what's important about your role, Teresa, is that Spain is one of the few countries in the European Union with a progressive government. So Spain has a key position in the European Union right now. As a Spaniard, I'm very proud of my government, and I hope I can continue to be proud because I think we have a very important role to play in achieving higher targets, like Adelaide was just telling you right now. So I hope your voice will be very strong in the meeting with the rest of ministers. I know it's an uphill battle. I know not all the ministers are like yours, your government, but really
you have us behind you. You have thousands of people, all ages, from 13, 7 to 75, 80 and beyond behind you. So we're counting on you.
No, thank you. I think that something which is very important for us is this aspect of justice and solidarity. So I think that we need to use this as a great opportunity to invest into our own future, understanding our present, and understanding that the future is there, and we need to build the opportunities so that it is a safe future with inclusive message for all, but also stressing that the transformation needs to think of those that could be suffering during the transformation times. So the consumers, the vulnerable consumers, the workers, and not being perceived as we just take care of something and we do not take care of the full picture. I think that the combination of social concerns, justice issues, intergenerational, but also among the people within the same generation, and then solidarity and social measures being combined with, hey, this is good, we need to transform everything. And yes, it is challenging, but first, it is a must, otherwise it could be quite unfair. But second, it is full of interesting things to be done. So it's not the fair that needs to gain the space, but the other way around. How we build all this transformation as something that puts us, all of us together into the same pathway with something that it is, I guess, quite innovative, but quite emotional and able to build together, to unify around the same goal to anyone. So yes, I think, I hope we do our best.
So you think Spain is capable of taking that leadership role?
That's what we try to push. I mean, there are other people that also are quite convinced of the importance, and the importance not just because of economic reasons or just because it is a must coming from science, but also in terms of the social justice that is behind this demand among generations, and as I said, within the current generations. I mean, questions of conflicts or peace, questions of access and reasonable price for basic goods for welfare for people, access to water, access to energy, access to minimum security services, are very connected to the type of economic model that we have been developing, and we need to reverse all those things that now we understand that do not work. So yes, but yes, I think that it is very important to have this push and to show that it is very difficult. No, it's not very difficult. It is our duty. But I think that it is very important to feel that people support the duty and the pathway, because the way the representatives in the institutions think and work is taking into account how society feels about the issues. And when the message is so strong coming from the society, hey, this is the way we feel about the issues, it is much more easier to build consensus around the main changes that we need to put, all cross-cutting changes. So thanks for staying in this not so warm day.
Thank you for coming out.
No.
We really
My
hope
pleasure.
that Spain can be the leader here for the other ministers also.
But we are not egoists. There can be many leaders. We need many leaders.
We need
many
you to
people,
bring everyone
many people joining. Many people joining. Nobody needs to stay out of this. Everybody needs to join this change. And thanks to you and for the effort, for being.
Thank you for coming out.
The rain.
See all the youth there. Here they are youth from the 27 EU countries, but even more. So we are all representing Europe right now as youth, all citizens that are pushing now for more than a year out in the streets, and we will keep going to make sure that the job is done.
Okay, and today is Thursday, so tomorrow more. No?
Tomorrow more, always. We will be there tomorrow too.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot, and thanks to you all. And you have a good umbrella, no? That covers many people under the same umbrella. Okay, bye, Adeline. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Thank you for coming.
Bye. That's not a very comfortable position to stay very long. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Nada, a vosotros. Adiós. Chao. Bye. Bien.
En campagne de minutes.
Ah, sí.
A couple of questions.
Like every cash looks right now. You're going to take care of everything.
Tu restes avec Lucie et Louise.
Ouais, et du coup, après, vous faites quoi?
Moi, je vais au Parlement, mais dès que je suis sortie, ça va durer genre 2-3 heures. Dès que je sors, je reviens vous rejoindre. On peut manger ce soir ensemble.
Ouais, mais on va peut-être venir avant.
À tout à l'heure.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah,
ouais, voilà.
Ok. Est-ce que tu peux tenir la caméra, s'il te plaît? I'm just going to call London to announce that.
Are we still live? Right now.
Please leave. Yeah. Please. Okay, quickly.
I wish I had a minute now.